Hey guys, Robbie here from CrossFit South Bend. Today I'm here with Margaret, who signed up for our 12-month functional diagnostic nutrition program, and she's a few months in now, so we're going to talk about her progress. So, Margaret, first of all, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
So, I think the first thing I want to start with is tell everyone about what you were dealing with before you started the program, health-wise.
So I was dealing with a lot.
Okay.
One of the things Robbie said when I first came was I had one of the most detailed medical history forms that he has seen. Some of the big complaints were menstrual migraines. I would get them, they'd be horrible. I'd seen several other doctors given heavy medications that sometimes didn't even help. So trying to improve those was my big concern. I also was dealing with exhaustion throughout the day. I'd get up in the morning and I wouldn't feel awake. It would take a good probably 30 minutes, an hour before I actually felt that I was up. Um, I was also dealing with motility issues. I wasn't pooping like a normal person pooped, which was one of the things I found out after coming and talking to Robbie. And there are a couple little things that I was dealing with, like acne, kind of losing the last 5-10 pounds. But really, the migraines was my big concern.
Okay. And when I told you about, this way of eating and this lifestyle, you had tried some stuff in the past, but what did you think about, going a bit more in depth with something like the Whole30 and this, these other sort of lifestyle changes?
As you mentioned, I'd done something similar to the Whole30 before, so I knew it was possible, but I had always had the issue of I'd go in cold turkey and then I'd do the 30 days and then I'd be right back to where I started. To me, it didn't seem like a sustainable way of eating.
Okay. So tell people about your progress. I mean, you've made a ton of progress.
Yeah.
You've done an excellent job. Tell people about, all the PRs, both health and gym and yeah, everything.
Yeah, so I think it took a while, but I finally hit a lot of health PRs a couple weeks ago. Kind of the big one was I call it the best period ever. Not only did I not get a migraine, I didn't have the cramping, the night sweats, the mood swings, just all those symptoms that I normally get. It was nothing. The bleeding was also so much lighter than anything I've ever experienced before, and I was really excited. I was really pumped up about that. And plus, I wasn't on any of the medications that I had been given, and so that was a huge PR for me, and probably the most important one. My motility has also gotten a lot better. I think it's still not perfect, but it's definitely improved. One of the odd things was when I used to go to the bathroom, it used to take like 20-30 minutes before I'd go. So I had a crossword puzzle book in my bathroom.
Right.
Um, and then for the past couple months, I've noticed that I haven't had to open the crossword puzzle book because when I sit down, I go. And that's huge. Um, my acne has gotten a lot better. I'm actually awake in the morning. Like I open my eyes and I get out of bed and it's just like it's hard to explain, but it's almost like the world gets brighter and I'm awake. I don't have that sort of drowsiness, that kind of veil over my thoughts anymore. So that's cool. I also don't get that sort of afternoon 3 o'clock hump where I feel like I need to take a nap. I sort of have energy throughout the day, so that's huge. Um, Also, I'm in the Olympic weightlifting class and I've continued to hit PRs, which is really exciting.
That's
I
awesome.
think my clean's up to 121 pounds, which
Wow.
when I started this program and started at the gym, it was at 85. So that's sort of huge progress for me, which it's exciting that I can make both health progress as well as like exercise progress and lifting weight progress.
Awesome. That's a ton of things. And I think one other thing that, was a big deal in your case was migraines and headaches.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a bit about that and how that's improved.
Yes. So I used to get menstrual migraines. So, every 4 weeks I get a migraine. They typically last 2 to 3 weeks. With a couple days in there, I was in bed with earplugs, lights out. If I go outside, I'd have to wear sunglasses. I kind of just had to shut down for a couple days. And I'd seen a neurologist, and really the best they could do was help me manage my symptoms. They weren't able to figure out why I was getting these migraines or get at the root cause. And I think that's really what this FDN program has done for me, is started, to dig in deep and figure out what might be causing these migraines, because they're not normal. And so since starting the program, I think early on I still got a couple sort of headaches, but I didn't have all the other migraine symptoms that I usually get, things like nausea and then sound and light sensitivity. And I think I have not gotten a migraine in the new year.
Wow.
So that's almost
That's
3
pretty
months
amazing.
now that I've been completely migraine free, which is really exciting.
Awesome. So tell people what you think about sustaining this lifestyle long term, like making healthy eating something you can do the vast majority of the time. Does it seem feasible?
It definitely seems feasible now.
Okay.
I think going cold turkey like I used to wasn't the right step to get to sustainability. Working with Robbie, as you start out slowly, almost like one day at a time, working up to eating, healthy for a whole week and then starting the Whole30. And since then, since doing the Whole30, I've had a couple instances where I was at a party, or like the Super Bowl was a big one, and it's like, is this a special occasion? Is this, how do I navigate through the situation? And I was actually able to do really well. I mean, it was a fun time, but it wasn't what I would consider a special occasion, and I was able to still go have fun with friends, talk with people, eat a meal while still staying on diet. And that's just one example. There have been a couple other times that have come up, and I've been, even on the special occasion days, I've been able to, enjoy what I'm going to enjoy, and it's great, and then I'm able to get right back on eating healthy. So it's definitely I see it as a sustainable way of eating. And I look forward now to like the different special occasions, not just because I can eat, whatever I want, but also because I have the confidence that after I've done that, I can get right back on diet. There's not that dread that, oh no, now I'm going to be eating crappy for 2 weeks and I'm going to feel awful.
That's fantastic. So the last question I usually ask people is, if you could think back to, when you were starting the program and thinking about, hey, do I want to do it? Do I want to dive in? It's a lot of effort, a lot of time involved. What would you say to someone who's maybe dealing with, similar issues about, whether it's something they should consider?
I mean, for me, I think it was definitely something I considered from the get-go, and I would encourage other people to consider it too. Me, having dealt with these issues for so many years, I had gotten to the point where this was how I thought my life was going to be. I was going to have to deal with these. And so coming in and just talking with Robbie and finding out all of these different ways of how the body works and all the different connections there, it really opened my mind, like, hey, maybe this isn't what the rest of my life has to be like. There's a possibility that I can fix some of these issues. And so I definitely, if you're not sure about it, sit down with Robbie, talk to him. He's great. He's really great at explaining things as well. And don't be afraid to take the chance and to go for it, because with all the effort you put in, it's 100% worth it. And I'm so happy that I took the chance, and I'm only partway through the program and I'm already seeing progress, so go for it.
Yeah, and I mean, on my end of things, I have to say, like, you've been one of the best people I've ever worked with. Like, you're super dedicated, and like, there are people who, want to go to heaven but don't want to die, metaphorically speaking, to get there in terms of putting in the effort. And you've done a fantastic job, and super proud of you and all your progress. And yeah, looking forward to the next few months. So like we said, guys, Margaret's only, halfway through at this point, so we're going to do another video later on talking about even further progress, and yeah, we'll update you from there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thanks so much to you, Margaret, for being here, and we'll see you guys next time.